technology that is built for your every sense. Acer Pure from Acer.
In fact, Russia's first reaction on what Trump's advisor, Mr. Navarro, has said. It's a Times Now mega exclusive. Russia has cited economic cooperation. First Secretary, Russian Embassy, has reacted to the economic cooperation and said that it's not funding war. This is Russia's response to what Mr. Navarro earlier said, saying this is Modi's war.
Just a natural reaction to some economic prerequisites. What I'm telling is that if oil is cheap, you buy the cheap oil, right? We have a lot of oil, and we have to sell it. So it's just normal economic cooperation between two actors. This is not funding war. I mean, if a certain country is in a war with another country, should it stop all economic activities? I don't think so. They should keep on. They should be using everything at their disposal. That's partially what Russia is doing. So coming to the next question about the 20% increase in Russia-US trade.
So the Trump administration continues to point fingers at India, continues to unload on India for buying Russian oil, and amidst that, this is the first reaction that is coming from Russia citing economic cooperation. Russia says that it's all ultimately about the policy here. If you are getting oil cheap, you just buy it. It's normal economic cooperation between two leaders. It's not funding of war. Two countries could engage in economic activities. Well, questions also need to be asked to US, and why is it that US is trying to buy fertilizers from Russia? So US completely mum on its trade deals with Russia, but putting pressure on India to quit buying oil from Russia. In fact, in the admission that was done by one of the officers of US administration, Caroline Leavitt, saying that Donald Trump has put sanctions. The word that was used was sanctions on India. That was a pressure tactic that was used by Donald Trump to ensure that India stops buying oil from Russia, and to also ensure that Russia comes to the negotiation table. Those were the pressure tactics to end war. Let's go across to Pragya, who's joining us on the broadcast with more details. India has time and again made it clear, ever since this entire controversy came to fore, when statements started coming in, putting the onus on India for funding the war. First, the foreign minister made it absolutely clear that we are going to buy oil from wherever it's cheap and act in our best interest. In fact, he also exposed how US wanted India to buy so that the energy markets are balanced. Now, Russia also backing that. Russia says it's economic cooperation.
Absolutely, and in fact, I would say that Russian oil isn't sanctioned, unlike, Venezuelan oil or Iranian oil. This has been made very clear by the government, and they said that they're not violating any sort of law by buying Russian oil. If we get it cheap, we'll buy it, and we are not just the only ones buying it. The largest, energy buyer of gas from Russia is European Union, and if someone has to be put tariffs on, it should be US should be doing it on EU, or for that matter China. And there are many countries who are buying more from Russia than India. So, singling out India on issue of buying oil from Russia looks very hypocritical on part of US, and the government is also aware of that, and in fact they have also spoken to about this at various forums, and everyone is calling out US on this particular front, that we are not the only one buying Russian oil. In fact, we are not the one directly buying from the Russia. There are international players in the market as well. In fact, it is many of the US functionaries and leaders in fact wanted India to buy oil so that the prices remain stable, and it is because of the India that the international prices, even in US, for that matter, is stable and not going at a point where it becomes impossible to buy petroleum products or oil for that matter. So in a way, India is doing a favor to the world by buying Russian oil, because that much of oil will be available in the market if that is not utilized by India. then the prices are going to skyrocket for India, but also for the US. So US also needs to think about itself, where the inflation is going out, and it is also going to face many problems and troubles in future, is what Indian government believes. So we are, in fact, just now Russian representatives also said, if there is a war between two countries, that does not mean that other countries stop economic transactions with those countries. In fact, it is very much in favor of everyone to buy products and to have a transactional relationship.
Right.
It does not mean that you are participating or funding a war. It is very important.
Funding war, then why not impose those sanctions on China, and why not impose sanctions on yourself? What about US doing trade with Russia, Pragya? Thank you very much for getting us the details. We'll keep coming back to you. So one thing is clear, logic does not apply here. There is more than what meets the eye. To amplify the charge of Trump, his close aide and a White House advisor, Peter Navarro, has termed the Ukraine conflict as Modi's war. He has accused India of fueling Russia's war through discounted oil purchases, conveniently forgetting that US also buys fertilizers from Russia. In fact, in an interview, he said India will straight away get 25% reduction if it stops buying Russian oil. Well, on this, India's message has been absolutely clear. Our decisions depend on our national interest and not pressure tactics or Donald Trump's tantrums. On the other hand, US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has expressed confidence that both countries would eventually find common ground despite escalating